what I've seen is everything is just play. That's really the biggest thing that I've seen. It's all just made up. Really, honestly, we are making it up as we go along. And then we have a thought that says, oh, no, you can't do that. And then you're like, but I'm going to do it anyway.
So this is just to give you context, and just in case there is anyone here that would be interested in joining Impact Activator, I thought that I would just go through it. Impact Activator is my program where we support coaches, heart-led change makers, and helpers to build profitable, impactful businesses. So people on the Impact Activator, the reason why we do it is because it helps you to know what you're here to offer and be able to describe it in a way that's understandable to people. So what your strengths are and your message and the transformation that you've been through, and visibility. So being seen without losing yourself, without going on platforms that you don't want to be on, and not doing video if you don't want to do video. Being able to be out in the world with your heart-led work and have people come to you, basically. I created this because I want to turn, it says here, insight into income, but passion into income. Too many people are following passion and being really massively underpaid. Why I created the Impact Activator? So because 4 years I worked in the prison system, but I also trained really talented facilitators. They were all already talented before I got my hands on them. And what I noticed in 10 years of this work is that these extraordinary people have transformational gifts that could change the world, but they don't know how to get it out, and they don't know how to get paid for it. And I want to support those people and help them not just have impact in the world, which they already do, but have great income, because with great income, we can have greater impact. So one of the success stories is BV has doubled her income, already a high flyer. When she came, she was definitely committed, but frustrated and bored with what she was doing. And her income was around about $3,000 a month from one contract. And after we worked together, she made some changes. She started being who she wanted to be in the world, and clarified her passion, and actually started having bold conversations. And I've just heard that she's doubled that one freelancing, she's doubled it to 6K. And she's also doubled it with a opportunity that really is energizing and purposeful for her. So anything's possible. And here's a wall of love. These are the sorts of things that people say when they join Impact Activator. There's just a few of the things. And my partnership guarantee is that you're not alone. I don't want to deliver another high ticket program that leaves you in the sea when you've done it. I want to create a momentum, a movement of people who are being well paid, but also who know where to come when they've got questions, who don't trip over and then stop doing what they love because they've got nowhere to ask those questions. So I keep supporting you whilst you're still implementing, engaged and activated in the community. I will continue to support you. So these are the little slides. I can share them with you afterwards to say if it's for you. And if it's not for you, it's not about worthiness. It's about readiness. So if it's not for you, that's fine. But if it is for you and you want to take action and you've seen what's possible and you want to give yourself permission to move, there's plenty of people here that have done Impact Activator. You can leave a deposit today and come on to the next one. So without further ado, the reason why I wanted to call this celebration tonight is because of Louise. So, Louise, I'm going to talk directly to you. I said to you the other day that you're a pioneer. And I really meant that, because what I've seen about you is how you are doing the hard stuff. And despite saying, I don't want to do hard stuff, you're turning up to things. There might be a small audience. They might never have heard of the thing that you're talking about. You wrote a book. You're really pushing yourself outside of the comfort zone, and you're dealing with it as it comes along. And you're right in the middle of this journey. So I wanted to celebrate you because I admire you. And I wonder if you talk a little bit about your journey from your perspective and what you've experienced and what's brought you here today.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank you for that lovely introduction. Yeah, it's been a long journey, a very long journey, actually. I think back in 2014, I came across the 3 principles. Before that, I'd had sort of long-term health issues. I'd been told I was clinically depressed, all sorts of rubbish. Rough stuff, I suppose. But I graduated also as an occupational therapist, so that was amazing. And I think throughout my life, I've always had the types of jobs where I just naturally seem to help people or mentor or coach or help train people. It just kind of comes naturally to me. So the occupational therapy thing as well is very cool, because I go into people's homes and see what adaptations they need, whether it be a stair lift or a ramp or a through floor lift or an extension or a toilet seat, whatever they need. And because I learnt the 3 principles, every time I come across somebody, I sort of naturally have a different perspective of how I talk to people, and sort of encourage them to look at things a little bit differently, perhaps laugh at themselves, give yourself a break, don't be so hard on yourself, all those sorts of things. And I got lost already. I can't remember. So I went to the 3 principles global community conference in London. That was the first time I saw you, Jacqueline, and that was with your prison guys, and they were reading out letters and really touched me. It was really amazing. But I've kind of been on a 3P journey and watched and listened to lots and lots of different people and videos and all sorts of stuff. And then actually I signed up to your Impact Activator, didn't I? The first one, and that was absolutely brilliant. And it did really help me see. You helped me see, what my strengths are. So even though sort of intellectually I know what my strengths are, I don't really know what my strengths are, if you know what I mean. So you helped me kind of map that out. You helped me with lots of things. So what I wanted to do was coach children, children or people in the senior school that my boys had gone to. So I desperately wanted to do that. And I'd sent some information about iHeart to the principal, thinking, oh, he'll love this. He'll just snap it up. Well, that didn't happen. So I kept, because I'm in the PTA in the school, every time I saw him, I'd say, have you read my email? And then eventually he said, do you know what? Let's just schedule in a meeting. And then we'll talk about it. And then I came back to Jacqueline. I've got a meeting. What do I do now? I don't know what to do with it. So, Stuart. Sorry. So Jacqueline helped me hugely because, first of all, she helped me prepare for the meeting. And the biggest thing that I took from your advice was sort of enjoy the silence. So, speak from the heart, say what you can do, and then leave a gap so that he can, you could see his brain whirring. And then he said, because actually I offered free coaching, and then he said yes. And also, I wouldn't mind being coached myself. So I ended up coaching students and the principal as well. So that we didn't have that many sessions, but it was. And I also lent him I don't know if anybody knows the book Parenting from the Heart, Jack Pransky. I lent him that book and he kept it ages. He said it really helped with his daughter. So I began coaching. I ended up coaching probably about 15 weeks in the school with some sort of 11, 12-year-olds. And that was amazing because in actual fact, that was the first coaching I'd properly done with the three principles in mind. And also I because of the connections in this type of group, I was talking to Wendy Davey, who also does coaching with, school children. She was very, very helpful. So thank you, Wendy. And I would go in with fidget toys, things that would maybe sort of calm the young person down. And then while they were playing with the toys, they would just talk to me. And I found it hard, probably from coming from my job with like a more medical paradigm, where you have an agenda in your assessment. You have got to do this, tick the boxes. So I found it a difficult shift in that you just kind of go in and then just like listen, and then you feel like, am I doing enough listening? Am I listening in the right way? You've got all these things going around your head. But the basics was, I was, having some fantastic conversations with these young people. Absolutely loved it. And then Jacqueline also helped me in the Impact Activator with writing a proposal. Never done that in my life. So that freaked me out. So that was another huge learning curve that I had with writing a proposal, because in my head that was like an adult business thing to do, and that's not me. I'm not an adult in business, so I can't do that. So it's that was amazing. So I gave the proposal. As it turns out, they didn't take me up on it, but that's okay. Initially, I was angry about that because I thought I've given so much to this school and now they won't take me up on my proposal. So, and then I nearly quit the PTA because I was having a bit of a hissy fit. But I just eventually realized this is not personal. This is a adult business. So, and they can't afford me. So that's fine. I've done my bit. I've done my coaching. I've got some experience. I think that's my own hand that's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got testimonials, and then I've kind of used it as content, to talk about with other things. So, and that's another thing that you showed me really was everything that we do is content. I mean, I'm not telling people to suck eggs, but even if something you feel is a failure, it's not a failure because it's a learning, or it's market research, or it's just content, or it's just showing people, I worry about those things as well, and I'm scared of this as well, and that's just being human. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm skipping anything. But then I wrote a book.
That's a great segue, that was. It's just being human. And then you wrote a book
called How to Be Human. I called it How to Be Human, Live Fully, Think Freely, and Find Joy Every Day. Because I did use my occupational therapy, as well, my experience, in that self-care, I think, is massive. So the 3 pillars in there: self-care, learn or know how your mind works, and then just go do life. That's the 3 parts of the book. It's not a very big book. It's but I consider it to be like a bit of a gold mine, because the way that I've done it's little chunks. So you can really just open the book anywhere and get something. And I've had several people say, I can just open any page and think, oh, yeah. And it's, I did do it with the help of Mary Schiller. And what happened was I'd written a course that I wanted to do with clients, with the 3 pillars: self-care, how your mind works. And what I did was kind of did it like a masterclass, where I recorded myself going through the steps of my course. And then I think she wanted 90 minutes, and it was only 58. And then I thought, what the hell am I going to do next? Because I'm also a teacher on Insight Timer as well, an app. So I've spoken a few like meditative bits and talks and things. So I took 2 of my meditations and I included that, so that you could kind of get the gist of, well, everything, the taking time to give yourself space and all of those things that I talk about in the book. So I used those as well. And then
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
So you never knew you were going to write a book.
Oh, no.
And I remember that when you started thinking about that, you thought, well, what would I write? I haven't got anything. I haven't got anything to write.
Yeah.
And we had a chat, didn't we? And then you went, oh, yeah, I have got this course that I wrote. I've got these Insight Timer stuff. I mean, you realise you had got quite a lot in the end. I think that's a big part of the journey, isn't it? We don't think, can't always imagine how it all fits together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how all those things that we've done, it feels like I did Insight Timer over here and I wrote this course one time over here, and now I'm trying to do this. And we don't always know how all of those elements are actually part of the jigsaw puzzle.
Absolutely. And you helped me a lot with that. Exactly. I mean, I've always kept diaries and I've always written bits and bobs. I'm also on Substack, so I write a couple of bits on there as well. And all the Facebook posts I've ever done have been mini little bloggy bits, so I've kept all of those. So yeah, you helped me to see that actually it's huge. I've got loads and loads of things that I could meld together, or it's huge. And last January I wouldn't have said I'm going to write a book. It just somehow kind of happened.
And then the book, and then it was an ebook.
It was an ebook at first,
and then you decided to make it a paperback.
I did, yeah. And all of those things were a challenge as well. Like the editing, and then I had to use Canva to make I think Mary did the front cover, which was lovely, and then I had to do a back cover, and I had to learn how to put the manuscript into the format in Amazon, in the Kindle publishing. And I was really stoked, because I was ringing Jacqueline, I need help. So that they were all like, learning curves, and I was up and down, up and down. Then I'd just throw it at the wall and walk away for 3 days. I'm not doing it. I've had enough. So, yeah, it was all it was all a great challenge, really. And so I've learned so much, still learning. Yeah, and the paperback. And then what happened with the paperback? So I got some copies of it. Oh, I was on a training at work. It was actually about, what was it about? Menopause or something. One of the ladies in the group that was in the training, so I happened to say, oh, I've written a book. And she said, oh, I work in the libraries. We have authors come and visit and talk about their book. Would you like to come to the libraries? I was like, yes. So she arranged it. It was amazing, really, because she organized the whole thing. She she created a poster. She sent the poster out. She sent links out to all of their email, thing. I didn't have to do anything. Just turn up. It was amazing. Yeah. And also, I think off the back of that, so I don't know if you all know the human design. I don't know if you've heard of that thing.
People have.
Yeah. So I am I can't remember what it's called now, but I'm the one that essentially has to wait to be invited to share my wisdom, which, when I kind of learned about that, I thought, oh my God, that's amazing, because I collect information. I'm good at researching and things like that. And so since no, it's not a project. I don't know if it is a projector. I'm not sure, Paula. But anyway, since I've put the book out, started doing the library, I feel like I've been invited to do more things. So at work in the council, the menopause network people, I went to a meeting online, and then somebody said, oh, Louise is here. She's written a book. Because I put my book out across the council. And a few people said, oh, that's brilliant. So I said, well, I could do a mini session in the menopause network group, if you like. So they've now invited me to come on like the 16th of March and do like a 20-minute thing about self-care for, menopausal or whoever, humans. And then I was also invited by a residential care home in the local area to celebrate International Women's Day as a local hero and an author to go and talk about my book and my coaching. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm a local hero. Wow.
Oh,
That's funny. But yeah, it's interesting that when you said to me that other day, you are doing pioneering stuff, that really did hit home, because like you said, I'm going out into the world and talking about this stuff, not the 3 principles, but how we think, how our thinking creates. And so I've had some really interesting conversations, and it is sort of groundbreaking, because nobody's talking about it out in the bigger world, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that's what I want to do, is, get it out there.
It's beautiful. And you could top it off with, so we talked the other day, didn't we? And Louise usually starts with, I'm going to give it up. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the other tours. I'm not going to the bookshop. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
She usually starts a conversation like that. And then serendipitously, we were on this call, and she was saying, I'm not sure if I want to do it. I'm not sure why I'm doing it. And you got an email, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, and have you got the email there?
Oh, hang on.
It doesn't matter.
feedback. No, let me just
feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Louise was talking about, only a couple of people turn up. I think at the last talk it was 2 people, plus 2 staff or something.
Yes.
And so she wasn't sure. But the thing is, if you change one person's life, that's enough. That's job done, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we talk about that a lot, but for ego doesn't like to think of that. Anyway, so we're on this call and you got this email.
I did, and it said, a member of the team said, one lady had gone through some issues and was inspired to change her life by going and joining in with more groups. So after Louise's talk, she immediately investigated library groups that she could join and joined in with an adult craft group, which started straight after Louise's session. So good. Brilliant. Yeah.
Immediate impact.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So we'd love to hear from you guys. I'll unspotlight you and me, and let's say, have you got a question for Louise?
Louise, my lovely, you are such an inspiration. You really are a great example of we really don't know how good some of us are. Me and you have conversations. I don't know how good I am. I'm self-deprecating, as Jacqueline knows, and I've heard you do that about yourself. And then look where we go. And you're a real inspiration. And I really love hearing your story. We were talking about your book recently, which I've just put it up on my screen. I'm going to purchase it because I like, when I'm working with kids at school, I love to read to them, and I think your book's going to be so useful. It's short. It's only 50 something pages, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to using that, and you're a joy to listen to, and you really do inspire me. And it's just nice to know that we can have a rocky journey, and if we're going to get there, we will get there. And really, what really jumps out at me is that we think we should be doing something this way, and we end up getting pointed somewhere else, and it gets results. I love it. Love it. Thank you so much. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Wendy.
Brilliant. And that's where one of the things I love about the people that I work with is that there isn't, we get stuck with these ideas of what we're going to do and what we should do and what we've done before and everything else. But actually, you've got to get to the core of what excites you. What do you really enjoy? And I remember Louise would like to do coaching now, but I remember there was a point when you went, I don't even know if I'm going to. I've been trying to do it for 10 years. But actually, when I said, well, don't be a coach then, there's plenty of other things you can do, that seemed to unlock all of this other.
Yeah, I agree. It took the pressure off.
Yeah. And then you can coach.
Yeah.
You can do speaking events and you can do whatever.
Yeah. Fabulous. Yeah.
Anastasia, hear you there?
It actually was my first book of the year. I read it. It was,
Lovely. Yeah, and thank you for your lovely review on Amazon. That was great. Thank you.
It's true what just Wendy said, because we started kind of this journey with the Impact Activator together. It's so inspiring to see all of us in the different ways. And the message in the book it's kind of same understanding that we are all trained in, but hearing it from your friend and colleague, it hits differently. And I think you showed us what's possible when you go for it, when you just move. And thanks to you, I started moving myself. Both of you, Jacqueline and Louise.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm very happy that you didn't hesitate and you went for it. So now you're an inspiration to all of us.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's exactly what I was going to say, actually, is that is the joy of community and collaboration, which we totally support in Impact Activator. And we've had conversations, and Anastasia noticed Louise, and more importantly, I think that you saw what she was doing to help herself with that trajectory. You saw that she was putting the shift in. You saw that she was showing up. You saw that she was being engaged and active, getting out of her own way. And that helped you. That helped you. Well, I could do that too. And now you're blossoming as well.
Thank you. Yeah. It was helpful to see the journey from inside, and having the conversation with Louise as well, where she was saying, like, I don't know how to do that, and I'm crazy, and I don't want to do it, and why I started, and I don't want to do it anymore, and I don't know how Canva works. But at the same time, seeing this and seeing the results of the time put in and the focus you had, Louise, I think what mesmerized me was your focus, how you focused in on one thing you wanted to do, and then from this thing many others arise. So yeah, it was a beautiful journey for me to witness and to be part of.
Oh, thank you. And it's yeah, I think I've learned at I think because I'm very honest, I'm not good at lying or anything like that. I basically just say what I think. So if this is really, really hard and this is really scaring me, then I'll just say that, because I know that it does help other people, because we all think we've got to put this shiny, perfect front on, and it's bollocks. And you don't, I think people do prefer it if you are more human. I've made mistakes. I could have done this, I should have done that. But we are human, and that's what we all do. And so it's lovely to share the ups and the downs.
Beautiful.
Oh, hello.
Good to see you.
I was in the same class, I guess, as Louise, and I heard about the book, and I was so like, I was like, that was Louise that did? Wow, that's amazing. I was really, shocked that you found a path. You found something that you didn't even realize was there, but it was.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because that's how it works. It's like we're not seeing it, and then we see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not seeing it, and then we see it. We get frustrated. We have twists and turns, and it's just the journey in and of itself. It is the thing that we can draw upon to help others, because we're all in this together. So I've been on a similar journey as far as what is it that I want to do with this understanding in the world. And things have been happening. Maybe not in the time that I wanted it, but it's happening because I never gave up. I never threw up my hands, maybe momentarily, but I kept going.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So
yeah, congratulations on your conference.
Oh
I
yes.
saw that. Brilliant.
Oh, you saw that. Okay, great. Yes. And actually Jacqueline will be there
Yeah.
at this conference that we're doing in New York, just a little bit north of New York City. And it's still a work in progress. I'm really nervous about it. I'm kind of freaking out about it. But at the same time, I'm just saying, okay, I'm just going to do the best we can. That's it. We're going to do the best we can. We're going to figure this out. And that's it. There's a lot of stuff that comes in, all the negative talk, all like, are you kidding? You've never done this before. What are you, crazy? And it's just so amazing how it just came together, certain things, and we had no idea. It just it just fell into our laps in a way.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into the story of it, but it doesn't even matter. But it's almost like a dream coming true, because I wanted to shine a light on this in my area of the world. And I never would have imagined in a million years that I would do this, but I had to start somewhere, right? I had to be in it and get that feeling that Sid promises that's there, that feeling of it's okay no matter what. We're okay. It's only this that's telling us we're not. We are okay, right? And and in your work and what you've been doing, the little nuggets along the way that tell you, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. That woman that did something after being in your class, Anastasia talking about what she's doing. This is like what Jacqueline was saying. This is community. I believe in community. Community is where we push each other to keep going. And that's why I applaud Jacqueline for what she's doing. She found a very a niche that needs to be filled,
Okay.
because there's so many of us out here
Yeah.
kind of like, I know that I feel this deep down inside me, and I know it's really important that it gets out into the world, because there's so many people struggling and suffering, and just that feeling of it, and Jacqueline kind of helping push all of us along to see, I did it, you can do it too.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to congratulate you. I'm very, I'm gonna probably say down the road, yeah, I knew Louise.
Yeah. Hang up. I knew she.
I knew her.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Thank you for letting me speak. But yeah, hey, and Louise, if you can make it to the U.S.,
Oh, I wish, I know. Yeah, brilliant.
But anyway, it's good to see you here and to see everybody here. And there's someone else on this call, a couple other people that I've known before. And actually, there's a woman, Jennifer Rogers, on the call. I'm supposed to have a one-on-one with her as well.
Yeah,
So, and
hopefully hopefully she's coming to the conference.
Yes. So anyway, thank you
Fantastic.
very much for letting me talk. And congratulations again.
Yeah,
And keep it up. Keep
thank
going.
you. You too. Great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you. I will.
Thank you. Paula.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for organizing this, Jacqueline, and thank you, Louise, for sharing. Louise, I have a question for you, and Jacqueline, maybe it be you as well, but I'm particularly curious about what the structure is of this. You referred to, calling Jacqueline sometimes, I don't know if you're, I'm curious about how you connect. Is it on Facebook? Is it on phone calls? Is it on Zoom calls? How do you work together?
The actual program itself is run on Zoom over an 8-week period, but we have a space, a community hub, not on Facebook, on another platform called Skool. And that's where all the resources are, the community is, and the classroom and the calendar and all sorts of things. And then people who are part of the Impact Activator get mini activation sessions with me, and we do all sorts of things. So what I saw when I designed this, Paula, and it's still a work in progress, even though we're just about to finish the third one. When I designed it, what I realized was there's a gap between a spiritually engaged person who's got something to share and practical implementation of that. And it didn't seem to me that other people were teaching the practical stuff. And having been someone who's worked in prisons and written books and worked in various, places, I thought, well, I could maybe help with that. And actually, what I saw as I started doing it is people really need to just be safe and know that they can. And then we can talk about the practical, because that's where it starts. And they don't recognize their skills or the experience that they've got, who they are in the world. They really don't recognize that. So as we work, they start to really uncover who they are and what they bring that's unique. And then I really want to monetize it. I'm not going to be shy about saying that, because so many of us didn't get, I was in that boat too, don't get paid, do coaching call after coaching call for free, turn up for free, do all of this stuff. And the people that I work in particular usually want to work in underserved communities or in places where they're not going to have premium, but there should be a way where they get premium payments, because it's the air mask principle, when we look after ourselves. And so this structure is loose at the moment. So really, I just want people to do well, and I'll support them along that journey in any way that I can. But I have to say, the community aspect, which not everyone loves at first, but the community aspect is key, because as you heard, they help each other, and we actively support collaboration. So people interview each other and can run courses together, and if we're closer, get to meet and so on. In fact, there's a load of us meeting up in a couple of weeks in person. So because that's a big part of that progression, what I find is that for myself too, you get something started, you feel like you're good to go, and then you trip, but you don't know where to go. And not everyone can come to me all the time, but they can come to each other. And this is a really loving, supportive community, spiritually minded, that will help each other, and also not rescue or advise, but just be able to say, yeah, let's jump on a call together and let's sort out your Canva, whatever it is. Did that answer your question, Paula?
Oh, yes, that helps a lot. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for sharing, Louise.
Sharon, welcome.
Hello everyone. Yeah, I just had to jump on and tell Louise something lovely, because it was Louise who really, I think, apart from you, Jacqueline, Louise was the person I really kind of was inspired by when I first joined this group, as she knows. And in fact, around the book thing as well, because I'd got something that I'd put at the bottom of my in tray, and when I heard Louise talking about her book, I dragged it out and got it going and did it literally over Christmas, and that was, it really was down to you, Louise. So massive thank you for that.
Thank you.
And also, talking about the community, the Skool community, you were my first interview.
Yes.
So, and it was such a lovely conversation, and it was, all of this has sort of helped me because of the community, because of what we've got together in the Skool community and in Impact Activator as well. That feeling of actually what you just said, Jacqueline, about safety, feeling safe and being able to reach out with when you're struggling or when something goes wrong, rather than just trying to put all the good stuff out all the time. It's been really, I found that really helpful. And yeah, so once again, thank you to both of you.
Yeah.
I'm really loving all this.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a great conversation that we had. That was brilliant. Yeah. And again, you know, you can use it as content. I can use it as content. It's brilliant. Yeah. Thank you.
No, it's been great.
Well, it's so funny, isn't it? Because often the things that didn't go so well, I get a private message about that. I say, yeah,
Yes.
this thing didn't go so well. And I say, well, post that in the community because other people would like to know about that.
Yeah.
My answer. Because it is, we do live in an age of shiny things and presenting the best foot forward and all of that. But actually, people learn more from our mistakes, even though I don't see them as mistakes. But they learn more from what went wrong than what went right, because it helps people to see, oh, it doesn't have to be perfect to start with, like as if we think that's crazy anyway. And also what to do about it. So like earlier today when you said about your flyer, and I said, well, you do have a free thing. You were like, oh, yeah.
I haven't replied to it yet, but I mean, that was the perfect example. And it's true because I sent you the private message first, and that's because I've been conditioned to keep in other communities, you know, that I've been in before, not to share that stuff, kind of,
Yeah.
you know, to keep the
Positive energy.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't mind sharing at all. And when, you know, because some of the other things that have been shared in the group that other people have come to, you know, have had questions about, and then I've listened to the recording and gone, oh my God, yeah, I never thought of that, you know. So the whole thing just works so well, really. I just love it. I think it's
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
I haven't planted these people, you know. They all came in on their own accord. Anyone have any more comments for lovely Louise, or any questions? Jennifer?
So sorry that I'm not on camera because I have to be driving right now to get to an appointment. But I definitely wanted to celebrate Louise and just let her know it's just so inspiring to see someone who, you know, isn't that sure of what they want to do and what they want to accomplish, but they just have a passion, and to see it all come together, to see something beautiful like this unfold. And I'm so excited. I'm going to get to talk to Louise soon. And I'm just so excited to see also, Jacqueline, how this vision of yours, like what is happening in the world because of what you saw and because of what you decided to put out there. You're literally activating all these people, all of us, to go out and make a difference in the whole world. So I see it in what Louise is doing and Sharon, and I'm excited to speak to Stuart. And it's just so exciting and so inspiring. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. Beautiful. I'll just share a little story about why, which is why I started Impact Activator. I closed my nonprofit in January last year, working in prisons with prison residents and bringing the wellbeing paradigm into prisons, and training people and writing research papers and all the rest of it. And at the same time, or around the time, one of my dearest guys went back into prison. And he's going to be in prison for a really long time. He's going to be in prison basically until he's in his late 50s or mid 50s. And he was someone that not only did my heart was his, he became a practitioner while he was inside. He's one of the best teachers that I know. He became a director of the social enterprise that I was running. He's spoken on stages around the world. He's very impactful for a lot of people. And it's right that it's right that he's in prison, even though I don't like prison for what he did. But what I really saw, and people came to me and asked me, you know, do I doubt what I felt about him? Do I doubt the truth of the inside out understanding? You know, how does this affect all of us? And for a long time, I couldn't talk about it. I needed to get my own grounding around it because I didn't know. And I didn't want to say everything happens for a reason, you know, and make it all okay. It wasn't okay. And I was heartbroken. And what I came to see was there's just not enough bloody support. For people who are struggling, there is not enough support. For people who have had these disadvantages, they don't know where to go. There isn't the library that they can turn up to and the community centre that they can turn up to where they can get the level of foundational change that we offer as practitioners. And why not? Like, it should be everywhere. And if it was in every library, thank you, Louise, and in every community centre, and there were people online that you could just phone. If Omar was his name, or is his name, if Omar could have just gone somewhere, perhaps that wouldn't have happened, because his decline happened over you know, he didn't go from being a director and a speaker to doing a crime that got him into prison again overnight. No, the decline was gradual, and he was living in the hood. He was surrounded by all of that. There were circumstances, and he wasn't getting topped up, as I like to talk about it, or having a dunk. And I honestly believe that if he'd have had that, I don't think this thing would have happened. And that got me thinking, well, there are hundreds of people who are amazing. There are hundreds of Louises and Sharons and Stuarts and Wendy's and Wendy, two Wendy's, and Cat Cares and all of these people. There are hundreds of them. I'm going to activate them, because all that has to happen is they need the activating agent to feel that they can. And who knows where that will lead. Some people may take it and run with it and go. One of our group has gone and working in a big organisation with leaders, and some people will go and do talks in libraries and everything in between. It doesn't matter. It just matters that the people who have this transformational understanding and have this lived experience of a shift from one way of being to another, share it with the world and feel empowered to do that and have the resources to do that. And that's why I want to activate as many people as I can. I want to activate 1,000 people before I retire. And I'm already well on my way with you guys. So yes, thank you for giving me the space to share that, Louise. I just felt it was important to say why. And so for me, when you work in the library, to me, that is exactly what I hoped for. You know, that random people will turn up and hear what you're talking about and then think, oh, I can join other groups and I don't have to be alone in my house.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And people can find community and spaces and love and know that they're not on their own.
Yeah. And I've asked them, I said I might come back again later in the year. And they said, yes, you'd be welcome.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. Is there anything that you'd like to round this off? Any message you'd like to give people?
What I've seen is everything is just play. That's really the biggest thing that I've seen. It's all just made up. Really, honestly, we are making it up as we go along. And then we have a thought that says, oh no, you can't do that. And then you're like, but I'm going to do it anyway.